We come into this world according to the Bible and according to what we know too to be true. Born in sin, shaped in iniquity. Born in sin, already aware, already sinful with a sinful nature, and shaped in iniquity. So our ability to do wrong for any and everybody is always there. I think a lot of times people get surprised by the things that they do because you feel like it's not in you, but you never know until your back is against the wall and you're in that situation. But the Bible says we are born in sin and shaped in iniquity. That's why it is crucial about to whom we follow, to whom we admire, to whom we aspire. Because you can either grow and become better, or you can continue in the sinful nature in which you arrived. When it comes to this leadership, I have been so clear. And it's no different than the Bible. In the biblical days, there was always, they had reigns where there was a good king and a bad king. And based on the reign, it set the tone and the environment for how people move, operated, and what they did. And this regime is no different. I am constantly surprised and somewhat disappointed because you have people who voted for number 47 who now realize that, okay, this could have been a mistake. I never saw it getting this bad. How did it get this way? And instead of being honest and able to say, hey, I was wrong or whatever, they would rather just lump everybody in and say the whole system is corrupt. The system may be corrupt, but it's not the time to throw the system under the bus based on your bad decision. Politics in general is a dirty business. Period. There are things and elements about politics that you and I would never understand because we don't sit in that seat. I can't imagine knowing that no matter what decision I make, somebody is dying and I'm seeing it. They see more than we can even fathom. We talk trash, we get on social media, we say things, but most of us have not seen a person die literally in front of us, or ordered a hit that you knew was going to kill somebody, but you had to for the greater good. Most of us can't even fathom making those decisions, and yet we fight among each other all the time about who we want to make those decisions on our behalf. I cannot tell you how many Christians, I'm using a quotation, not judging. I don't know you, but I'm just saying it's not very Christian to vote because you're against abortion or LGBTQ, and then turn around and watch cops kill innocent people or people be snatched off the streets and deported. Even if they're here illegally, they're still supposed to have some respect, some due process, because that's literally the way our system works. That's what we have all voted for. That's the precedence when it comes to America. That's what was supposed to make us different, make us stand out. And yet, when you start snatching people off in the middle of whatever they're doing in the day, and they're not even deporting them right away, they have detainee facilities. So you're spending money to mistreat them. Babies are being tormented and raped, women and children, everything, and we don't know where those people are going. And nobody wants to address that. So when you say that, Christian, you cannot think that that was the way to go. I know immigration is a big deal. I'm very much aware of it. But I know at the same token, we are dealing with humans, humanity. So you can't just treat it like a business and just pull people off and have everybody live in fear. I see it all the time. I see people move around and I can look at some of them on their face and see fear. That's not a good way to live. Not in the America that's the melting pot. And the very people at the helm, white America, the KKK in America, They think that they got over here and they're some kind of pure. No, you came over, stole the land, used the Indians and whoever else was here, because it was not just Native Americans that were here. And it was just not white America that held black America in slavery. You have to know you are great people when people go through great lengths to keep you down, of all nationalities. But that's another video. However, you came over and stole land, and then you took over. You did the exact same thing that you said about Great Britain. And many of us as minorities, we face taxation without representation. We pay the highest amount of taxes, but when it comes to justice, we are the least served. So you're still doing the same thing that you did not want done to you. Isn't that ironic? It's pathetic. It's bad. So we're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. You have to fight. There was always, in the Bible times, there was always people who, despite how bad the king was at the time that was ruling, who would always fight against the injustice, or who would always stand up and make sure that God's voice was heard in the earth, and that they represented God by how they lived personally, and that they did not mind letting people know that they represented a better God with morals, and that was that really had a real belief system, and not the traditions, and not being afraid of the king or whatever king that did not believe in God at that time. In that same manner, I'm telling you, Christians, you got to man up. You have got to start representing God in the earth. Instead of trying to control what other people do with their lives, represent God by what you do. You may not like a person's lifestyle. There's some of your lifestyles that I don't like, and we're supposedly all Christians, but we all know we have all these different crazy beliefs and belief systems and morals and high moral values, that some people sit up and call themselves judging, and they have no room to judge, because some of the very things they think do not even represent God on any level. And yet we still find a way, hopefully, or should find a way, to talk and engage with one another. And likewise, we have to find a way to support and to make sure that all people are equal, because that's the very principle America is founded on. Okay? And everybody has a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And your happiness does not look like mine. And they have those rights, and those rights are protected as long as they do not infringe on the rights of the next person. So you having bills to tell me how to do and how to live and what to do with my body is infringing upon those rights. You have to, at some point, be able to own up that you made a mistake. I was engaging with a person who definitely was a MAGA supporter, or at least voted for this regime. And they said at some point, people in power get to a point that they do not apologize. And I've said it on the video before. That's a dangerous place to be, because nobody is without or gets to a point that they do not apologize, that you do not admit you're wrong. You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. That's why so many people are in prison. And when you're in prison, you don't mind imprisoning others, because misery loves company. So if you're one of those people, own up to it. Say, I could have been wrong about this, and I didn't see this happening. And then make a correction at the polls and vote. We've got to get this man out. March and no kings, I'm not against it, but you're going to need more than a march, because there's so many people he has sitting in his pocket, and so many people that are afraid. And you're not supporting the leaders that will actually take action. You still owe Jasmine Crockett an apology, Texas, because we did not show up the way we needed to. We did not do what we were supposed to. I know it was a lot of chaos. I worked the polls myself, but that's no excuse, because it's your job to know and to be better and vigilant about your vote. Anytime you have a right, you have a responsibility to protect said right. It's been your girl, Candy with Kim.